Hello, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome. Also, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. 'Tis the day to set aside our problems and just to be thankful for everything we have, right? Like thankful for family, for friends, life, home, food on our table, including turducken. That I just found out that this is a real thing. And I don't think I will ever forget this. And I got my friend just enlightened me that this is a thing. Do you guys do this? So turducken, that's the name. Turducken apparently is a dish that, you know, someone figured, hey, let's make Thanksgiving weirder. I mean, it wasn't really weird to begin with, but like, oh, Thanksgiving isn't weird. Let's make it weird. Turducken is not simply turkey. Someone figured, hey, turkey is just too boring. We gotta elevate this. We gotta elevate this shit. So this it's technically a duck stuffed in a chicken, stuffed in a turkey, and sometimes there's also an egg, and sometimes there's also a lot of and then there's stuffing in the duck. So wait, so there's stuffing stuffed in a duck, stuffed in a chicken, stuffed in a turkey, and turducken is legendary. That's a thing from horrors. I think that's a thing from nightmares. I shall never forget this. And the triple bird roast, the 3-bird roast. That sounds actually disgusting. I don't know. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but hey, like I don't formally celebrate Thanksgiving, but I'm still thankful for my channel. I am not thankful for the turducken because I will be dreaming about this. I will be having nightmares about this. But to distract myself from this atrocity, I also found out that at one point in one of the DC comics, Wonder Woman was riding the Mothman. So that made my day, and I think it should make yours, because this is just fabulous. That's legendary. Okay, the legend, just history was made. Also, Fabian, thank you! This Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for Mothman's butt, Magic Seal, the saunas, and radio. Oh my god, why? The tuna. Oh, tuna. Oh, you're grateful for tuna. That's great. You're thankful for tuna. That's great. Thanks, turducken in the wind. Thank you so much for the supa. You don't have to, but thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys are here. I hope you're spending your Thanksgiving with your family and you know, like the turd. Hopefully you didn't have turducken. Hopefully it was just a turkey. Also, Ketsia, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. Congratulations to everyone who got the membership, and please remember to say thank you to Ketsia in the chat. Okay, guys. Let's make this Thanksgiving more interesting and weird by talking about a strange death that involves aliens. It's a case, I think it's the most famous or infamous case that is tied. It's an unsolved mystery, unsolved death, but it's tied to a UFO sighting. Also, you guys were like, I did see that you guys were wondering like how to read this name, the name of the person, right? Like the victim in today's case. He was actually Polish. So his name is actually read as Zygmund Adamski. So Zygmunt or Ziggy. I guess like his family and friends were just referring to him as Ziggy, but yeah, it's Zygmunt. So yeah, he was a Polish immigrant in the UK. Aliens be like, skill issue. What? Good God. What? It's not an easy thing to make. It's a very delicate process. I am sure it is. I think if aliens saw this, if aliens ever arrive on Thanksgiving and they see people stuffing duck in a chicken in a turkey, they'll be like, whoa, that's too much. What is this? We don't want to know. We don't want to investigate this planet anymore. That's fine. You know what? Actually, you know what? That's fine. We're gonna just... Mars was more interesting. We're gonna just investigate rocks on Mars. It's fine. That's more interesting than this. Like, I can't watch. Zyggy-san. Well, the name of the guy, the victim, was Zygmund. So yeah, like Ziggy. But I'm gonna refer to him as Zygmund or Zygmund Adamski. Okay. Guys, I'm not gonna keep you here for a long time. We're gonna go through this case, go over the story, and then you can enjoy time with your family. Because right now, you're locked in this stream. If you're new here, hi, I'm FEARSONA. You can call me Sona, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, here to give a full body chills, and here to talk about murder, mystery, aliens, turducken, you know, the usual disturbing stuff that will give you nightmares. Okay, not gonna lie, I ate too much food earlier. Well, then now you can relax, get yourself a hot beverage, make yourself comfortable, dim the lights. I don't know, maybe not dim the lights, because someone is gonna walk in and they see the image of turducken. Someone's gonna see this and to be like, what are you doing? Why? It's like, no, this is a true crime stream. It's like, yeah, I can see that this is a crime. Whatever this is a crime. I want more food. Okay, well, I mean, you can get yourself a snack or a hot beverage or both and make yourself comfortable. Let's get right into it. Also, Dorothy, thank you so much for the supa. But Sona, all you guys are kind of like my family. Aw, we are family here. Angry mob. Together strong. The fun part is that I've never seen the Planet of the Apes. I think that's the fun part. What? Ganda, thank you. Hey everyone, Fear learned she is being undercharging. We gotta get her 200k, let's do it. No. Oh my god. You guys do know. You know what's weird? That it's that I think my channel, like my YouTube account, is somewhat being observed, or I mean, we're all like being under, you know, like watched. But so I was looking into this case, right? And obviously I was looking up, you know, I was searching for videos on this case. Dude, YouTube wouldn't give me videos on this case. Like they are there. Like, that's the thing. Videos about Zygmund Adamski's case exist. Like, there's quite a few. But I was trying to search for it. And for some reason, when I was logged into my account, YouTube wouldn't show me any of that. It would show me, like, videos that were completely unrelated. And then, when I switched to incognito mode, right? So I was logged out and I was in the incognito mode of my browser, right? Then it showed me the videos. But like when I was logged in, they were just like, nope, you are being watched, and you are searching for things you shouldn't be searching for. And I was like, oh my god. Well, then this might be my last stream. It's been good, you guys. It's been a good run. Also, yesterday we had a true crime stream on Patreon. We did discuss. We kind of watched 8 videos, so 8 interviews, the most disturbing police interviews ever. And I did give, for each interview, I did give like a background, a little bit of a backstory to the case. There were some very disturbing cases, and I also talked about, because this is unrelated, but I also talked about how, you know, if the fate of the world depended on me learning Mandarin, then I would have to go on the news and be like, ladies and gentlemen, the people of the world, it is with a heavy heart that I must announce the apocalypse is coming and there is no hope. Because I will never be able to speak Mandarin fluently. So, hey, it's been good. So, yeah, another thing is that one day this channel might cease to exist because of me looking up stuff that I shouldn't be looking up, and like cases that I shouldn't be looking up because Agent Smith is behind the scenes, and our little world here, our little channel here might cease to exist. So this is the apocalypse. So treat every single one of my streams as like the last one, because one day it might happen. I don't know how I made that connection, how I like made the deduction from the connection from, oh, yesterday's Patreon stream to my Mandarin skills or non-existent skills whatsoever, and this channel ceasing to exist. Who knows? Logic. Also, Joshua gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much for the gifted membership, and congratulations to E.T. Green for getting the membership. I'm back. Hello, everyone. Hi, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, you guys, let's get right into the case. So, Zygmund Adamski's mysterious case is often discussed in UFO and paranormal circles due to a very peculiar and unexplained nature of the case. Adamski was a coal miner from Tingley, England. Like, he was originally from Poland, but he moved to Tingley, England, whose strange disappearance and death in 1980 sparked widespread speculation and intrigue. In the quiet town of Tingley, in the district or area of Yorkshire, Zygmund Adamski lived a very simple and unassuming life. Born in Poland in August of 1923, Adamski had a story that wasn't unlike many others of his generation, because that generation, you know, this was like between World War I and World War II, because World War II was gonna start in 1939. So this was like post First War, right? So a lot of people in Poland or wanted to emigrate from Poland, right? Like, they wanted to, that's actually the time also, that's actually also the time when a lot of people emigrated from Poland to the United States. That's why there's like a lot of Polish immigrants in the States, because people, like, post-war Poland was devastated, you know, and it was like the second one was coming, the tensions were still high, and people were just running away. So Adamski was kind of unlike many others, right? Like, Poland wasn't really good to live there, and, you know, like, he wanted to make money, he wanted to raise his family in a good environment, so he decided to move. In 1957, he married his wife Leocadia, or Lottie, that's what she was nicknamed, Lottie, who suffered from multiple sclerosis. And then 3 years later, seeking a fresh start, the couple relocated to England, I guess post Second World War, never mind. I was like, I thought he was, for some reason, like, I thought, in my head, I was just like, oh yeah, after like, he was born and then his family moved or something. No, actually he moved in the 60s. So, yeah, it's still like shitty situation for Poland, because the war ended in 1945, and yeah, in Poland, it ended in 1945. So, you know, for the next couple of decades, Poland wasn't really a great place to live in. So a lot of people, like, post First War and Second War, like, a lot of people just emigrated. And that's what Zygmunt decided to do as well. So he married Leocadia, and then the couple relocated to England and settled in Tingley, which is near Wakefield. This is the middle of England, right? Like, I guess Yorkshire. I used to study in Sheffield. I used to study very close to, Sheffield is close to Manchester, and I guess not that far. I mean, quite a bit of a distance from Leeds, but yeah, I used to study in kind of, South Yorkshire. Anyway, so some backstory. So for the next 2 decades, from 1960 to 1980, Zygmunt and his wife were pretty much living a quiet life, and they were a very quiet and friendly couple. They kept mostly to themselves, but were very well liked by neighbors and acquaintances. Nothing about their life suggested that they would one day be at the center of one of the most baffling and puzzling mysteries Yorkshire had ever seen. That brings us to the afternoon of June 6, 1980. It seemed like any other Friday. At 3:30 p.m., Zygmunt left his house to pick up some groceries at the local shop. He exchanged pleasantries with a neighbor, nothing out of the ordinary, but from that moment on, it was as if he vanished into thin air. He never returned home that day from the store, or the day after that, or the day after that. His disappearance wasn't just strange, it was deeply unsettling because, first of all, the shop he was walking to was located very close to his house, just like a few blocks away. The way to the shop was also very, very straightforward. As you can see, you just had to take one turn and just walk straight ahead and then just come back, right? It would take him maybe half an hour max round trip, right? Both ways. But Adamsky was known to be a very reliable and dependable person. And mind you, that day, his goddaughter's wedding was scheduled for the very next day, which, you know, his absence definitely raised immediate concerns. Also, Fabian, thank you so much. So he went to get the milk. Well, oh, come on. God, maybe he did go to get the milk. Maybe he did leave to get the milk and he actually was genuinely getting milk. And then just, you know, he got. Okay, so yes, Zygmunt didn't come back home that day, and this was very concerning because, as I said, like the next day, it was his goddaughter's wedding day. So like it was, you know, like in Poland, kind of like the godfather godchild relationship is kind of important, you know, like it is kind of considered like, oh, you know, like it's special, it's a special relationship. And usually, you know, like your godparent not showing up to your wedding or not showing up even to your birthday, it's kind of like, well, I mean, at least it used to be kind of strange, right? Like, oh, you know, usually you would expect them to be there for you. So yes, this definitely raised immediate concerns. This was a man who wouldn't have missed such an occasion without a good reason. And then another day passed, and another one, and then 5 days passed with no sign of him. Then on June 11th, June 11th, 1980. So this is 5 days after he disappeared. The mystery deepened because 20 miles away from Tingley, in the town of Todmorden, this is 20 miles away. That's pretty much an hour-long drive. The son of the owner of Tomlin's coal yard stumbled upon something horrifying. At 3:45 p.m., Trevor Parker, so that's the son of the owner of the coal yard, working at his family's coal yard in Todmorden, stumbled upon the lifeless body of Zygmund Adamski lying on top of a 12-foot-high pile of coal. Yeah, he was just randomly there. His body was there on top of a coal pile 20 miles away from his hometown. And it's 5 days after he disappeared. And this is not the weirdest thing. That's not the weirdest part of this case. So here's the thing. That coal pile had been undisturbed earlier in the day. So the same day, this is at 3:45 p.m. The same day in the morning, everyone was working at the coal pile or coal yard, I guess. And they saw this pile and it was undisturbed and the body was not there. But then at 3:45 p.m., suddenly the body appeared. The yard had been completely quiet for 5 hours before the discovery. Mind you, Trevor, so this guy, right, like the guy who found the body, Trevor, he had been on site between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. and saw, 11 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 2 hours. And he saw nothing unusual. Like he was around this pile. There wasn't anybody, or there wasn't any body on that pile. So how did the body of Zygmunt Adamski appear there, seemingly out of nowhere? When police constable Alan Godfrey arrived at the scene just after 4 p.m., so 15 minutes after the body was discovered, he was met by a paramedic who greeted him with a grim statement, quote, "I think you have a murder," end quote. And by 4 p.m., Godfrey had examined the body and concluded that Adamski had likely died from a heart attack. Like, there weren't any signs of struggle on this body. And I'm gonna get into that a little bit more, but yeah, the medical examiner, the first medical examiner that was on paramedic that was on this at the scene, he was just like, yeah, this guy died of a heart attack. And honestly, the paramedic thought, oh, this is, that's one of the employees at the coal yard. So probably, just dropped dead. Maybe he was working at the coal pile. But no, Zygmund Adamski was not working there. He was a miner, yeah, but he wasn't working on at that yard. So the circumstances surrounding the discovery raised even more questions. First of all, oh, Baxter. Hey, Baxter, welcome to the membership. Welcome to Even Angrier Mob. Thank you so much. Okay, so, yes, 20 miles away. This is a completely different town. That's not his hometown. And he disappeared 5 days earlier from his hometown. So how the fuck? Okay, so let's get into the details of how the state of the body and why did I say it's weird? It's not even the weirdest part that they found him there. So first, the body was found face up, positioned right atop the pile. There were no signs of struggle, so no signs to suggest. Also, no signs to suggest that anyone had climbed the pile. So the pile was still undisturbed. No one climbed the pile, no one went down the pile, nothing. It was just as they left it, just as they saw it in the morning. So yes, there weren't any signs that someone dragged a body there and came back down. It was literally as if Adamski had been dropped from above in broad daylight during a warm summer afternoon. How could such a thing happen without anyone noticing? Super strange. So Constable Godfrey didn't believe that Adamski was murdered. He actually died. Oh, and the paramedic kind of confirmed it. He was just like, yeah, this guy died of fright. Something scared him, because there's no other, there's nothing else that suggests oh, something else gave him a heart attack or something else caused his death. No, he died of a heart attack, but the heart attack was pretty much caused by extreme fear. Moreover, he didn't die on that coal pile. He was placed there. So Godfrey said this, quote, he was on top of the coal pile on his back with not a bit of coal on him. His eyes were wide open and he had burn marks. Why would he climb up a stack of coal? End quote. So years later, Godfrey spoke to a pathologist who performed the postmortem on Zygmunt Adamski. And the pathologist described Adamski's death as a, quote, classic case of someone who had been scared to death, end quote. But scared by what? And first of all, how did his body end up on that pile without disturbing the coal? Godfrey he has admitted that he doesn't know what happened, but added, quote, I think something put him there. Something, not someone, something. And then there were other very strange details, because this is not all. So Adamski showed no signs of homelessness or vagrancy, right? He was missing for 5 days. Wait, because I think my slides are kind of slightly weird. Yeah, they are weird. I've been showing you guys weird slides all this time. Well, just kind of moved to the side. Anyway, so yes, he was gone for 5 days. And he showed no signs of homelessness, vagrancy. He wasn't malnourished. He wasn't unkempt. And he was gone. He was not, he was not at home. And there were no signs that he stayed anywhere. There were no sightings of him, which means okay, well, he was maybe kidnapped. But then would the kidnappers take care of him? Would they feed him? This is 5 days. In fact, it appeared that Zygmunt had been well fed during his 5-day disappearance. There was no evidence that he'd sought medical treatment, nor were there any injuries to suggest that he had been in a struggle. And mind you, like there's gonna be another detail about his beard. He had like a, okay, I'm gonna get to that. So again, we're left with this very unsettling scene. Shai gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Hey! Woohoo! Congratulations to everyone who got the membership. Please say thank you to Shai. Okay, so we are left with this very unsettling scene. A man last seen alive 5 days earlier somehow ends up dead on top of a pile of coal in a way that pretty much defies logic. How did Zygmund spend those missing days? How did he get there and why? So while he was dressed, like relatively smartly, key items were missing. So first of all, his shirt was missing, wallet, and a watch. They were all gone. And then his clothing, like yes, he was dressed, and I'm gonna like zoom it in a little bit. So he was dressed, but it looked like someone else had tried to put the clothes on him, but they hadn't done a very good job. So his trousers and shoes were very clumsily fastened, and his coat had been buttoned up incorrectly. So definitely, this is a sign that he wasn't the one dressing himself. Someone actually undressed him and then put the clothes back on him. Even stranger, despite having been missing for 5 days, again, 5 days, Adamski's face only showed about a day's worth of beard growth. So he, you know, like slight, very slight stubble, very slight shadow. Nothing, you know, not a 5-day stubble. Definitely not. And you would think like, okay, well, was he shaving? Like if he was kidnapped, like we highly doubtful that the kidnapper, you know, shaved him. What if he was drunk? Yeah, but he didn't shave. Like then he shaved. He was drunk and he shaved in those 5 days. Like no. So he was gone 5 days, but then there's like just slight beard growth on his, and usually he did have quite, you know, like quite a lot of facial hair. Like he had to like shave every day to keep it neat, to keep his face clean. So that small detail left investigators scratching their heads. Had he been well groomed during his absence? Like had the kidnapper groomed him, basically? Then there were the burn marks around his neck and shoulders. There were particular marks that looked like they had been caused by burns of some kind. What made this detail even more bizarre was the gel-like substance covering the wounds, and it was green. So whatever this gel was, authorities couldn't really identify it. And yes, the gel was green, and they're like, we've never seen this. This is not any kind of ointment, any kind of topical medication. They consulted pharmacists, they consulted experts, and they were just like, no, I don't know what this substance is. Yeah, the green gel. So his skin kind of like around those burn marks was green because of the gel. So what are we looking at here? A man found in oddly like buttoned up clothing with unexplained burns and treated with an unknown ointment, and appearing oddly well kept for someone who had supposedly been missing for days. Could this mean that someone had cared for Adamski during his disappearance? And if so, who and why would they leave this body in such a puzzling state on top of a coal pile, of all places? To uncover the truth behind Zygmund's mysterious death, his body was sent for a post-mortem examination, and that evening, just after 9 p.m., Dr. Alan Edwards, a consulting pathologist at the Royal Halifax Infirmary, began his work. So based on Dr. Edwards' findings, Adamski's time of death was estimated to be between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on June 11th. So the same day his body was discovered on that coal pile at 3:45 p.m. So he died between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. that day. But there was another curious detail. The burns, so those burn marks found on Adamski's neck and shoulders, they weren't fresh. Dr. Edwards concluded that they were about 2 days old, raising questions about what had happened to him during the 5 days that he was missing. Despite these findings and, you know, identifying the exact, so like despite all of these findings, identifying the exact cause of death was a challenge. They couldn't really tell what happened to him. What degree burn marks? It's not, I don't have that information. I don't think anyone mentioned like what degrees, but they did mention like, oh, they were significant burn marks, and yet they were old, like 2 days old. So they were already kind of like, right? Like they weren't fresh. Okay. So wait, because I got lost in my own notes. Great. Okay. So despite all of these findings, again, the cause of death was pretty hard to pinpoint. Like the cause of death was a heart attack, but why? It was eventually ruled as a heart attack, but again, the case was far from straightforward. Like what caused Adamski's heart attack? Like he didn't show any signs of heart failure. He didn't show any signs of like heart issues prior. So it was very, very strange. The circumstances surrounding Zygmund's disappearance and the condition in which his body was found left investigators and even the coroner deeply puzzled. In fact, it took coroner James Turnbull several months to officially register Adamski's death because he just couldn't really explain it. He was just like, what am I supposed to write in this report? Like, I don't have anything. We have all these like pieces of a puzzle, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't even know what to write here. So it took him quite a while to even register the death. So what do we make of this? A heart attack might explain the medical cause of death, but it doesn't really address the circumstances. And also what led to the burns. Why had Adamski's body been left on that coal pile, and what happened during those missing days that could have led to his untimely death? So the Zygmund Adamski's case wasn't really the only strange event to cross police constable Alan Godfrey's path in 1980. So the constable who first showed up at the scene. The day before Zygmund's body was discovered, something strange happened in the same town. So in Todmorden, in the same town where Zygmund was found. A young couple living near the town center. So this is the town center, right? They are living near the town center, and they were startled awake by an unusual sound, a noise that they later described as a, quote, surge of water, but it wasn't coming from the ground. It seemed to echo from high above their house. Stepping outside into the night, and it was a cold night, they tried to pinpoint the source. The noise seemed to move further and further away, fading into the distance, but before they turned back inside to walk back into their house, something caught their attention. High above, they saw a pulsating light. It kind of hovered, faintly glowing, and then began to rise, and gradually it climbed higher into the sky until it disappeared completely. It was very strange, but they couldn't have guessed how this peculiar sight would seem connected to the events of the following day, right? Because this is the day before Zygmund's body was found. So obviously this couple, they didn't know that this might have been connected. And then the next day, the body is found. So, you know, and this weird light was hovering over this town where the body was found. So I don't know. And if you remember, the body looked as if someone dropped it from high above onto the pile of coal. So yeah, there's that. And then several months after discovering Adamski's body, Alan Godfrey was sent to investigate an equally baffling report. Cows appearing and disappearing around a local council estate. So now we have possible cow disappearances, cattle disappearances. Well, not mutilations. This is not a case of cow mutilations or cattle mutilations, but could have been. Honestly, could have been. But, you know, it's just disappearance of cattle. Okay, so what started as, and this is a weird part too. So what started as this routine patrol just to check on the cattle, just to check what's going on and, you know, see if there's anyone suspicious, like just kind of, you know, walking around there and doing some suspicious things to the cows. So what kind of started as a regular routine patrol turned into an event that would change Alan's life and his career forever. So it was early, just after 5 a.m., when Alan Godfrey was driving along Burnley Road. Up ahead, he noticed what he thought was an overturned bus blocking the road. So this vehicle, like from afar, he was just like, oh, there's a vehicle, there might have been an accident, and it's blocking the whole road. So let me check it out. Good thing that I was here. Let me drive up to it and see if the people, like the person inside, maybe the driver is just driver there. Maybe there are some passengers. Let me check if they are okay and obviously help them. But as he got closer, he realized that he wasn't looking at a bus at all. This was not a vehicle known to humanity. Hovering about 5 feet off the ground, this is actually Alan Godfrey drawing what he saw. Hovering about 5 feet off the ground was this diamond-shaped object. It's the size of this object blocked the entire road, and Godfrey tried to radio his station multiple times during this moment, but none of his attempts to contact the station went through because there was interference in the channels. Alone and faced with this unknown object, he made a surprising decision. Instead of approaching the object, he took out his notebook and sketched what he saw. And this is what he saw. He just redrew it on the board. But this is essentially what he had drawn in his notebook, so that, you know, his memory is fresh and it's not like, you know, it's not kind of disturbed by, okay, time and, oh, maybe you just saw things, maybe you just imagined it, maybe you just fell asleep, right? And maybe that this was just a dream. He's like, no, I have to sketch it right now. This is gonna be fresh. And that's when things took a very, like, even stranger turn. So half an hour later, Godfrey found himself further along the road, sitting in his patrol car with no memory of how he got there. He just blipped. He literally just blipped. Like, he was just sketching this diamond-shaped object. He was just looking at this weird hovering UFO, and suddenly he's just sitting in his car. Like, he just teleported. And his boots, mind you, his boots were damaged. They were split along the soles, the way like they would split if he had been dragged along the road, or like dragged along the ground. But dragged by what? And also, he did not remember being dragged by anyone. And his shoes were destroyed suddenly. Yeah, how in the world, right? Yeah, like his shoes were just, the soles were just destroyed, as if someone just grabbed him under the shoulders and like dragged him on the ground, and his heels were just kind of ripped. Yeah, his shoes. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. So when Godfrey returned to the area, the mysterious object was gone. And as for the cows, they were later discovered in a nearby field behind a locked gate. There were no hoof prints in the muddy ground because I think it was like raining that day or something. Like it was, the ground was wet, so there would have been some hoof prints, but there were none. So how did the cows get there? It seemed like the cows were just dropped in that field from above. Like there were no other hoof prints around or any other tracks around the cows. It's just, they were just standing there randomly. Okay, so this encounter didn't stay quiet for long. Within a week, this story made its way to the press, throwing Alan Godfrey into an unwelcome spotlight because the ridicule and speculation that followed pretty much ended his law enforcement career, unfortunately, because no one really believed him. no one really took him seriously, and his suspicions about the connection between the Todmorden, sorry, I can't pronounce that, Todmorden's, the UFO sightings, the cow kind of disappearance, and Alan Godfrey's UFO sighting, and all that linking to Zygmund Adamski's death. So no one really took him seriously, and yeah, his career in the law enforcement pretty much ended. But here's the thing: Godfrey's encounter is often linked to the Adamski case. Could there be a connection between these three unexplained events? Were they both part of something larger? Because it was just too much of a coincidence that all these things, all these weird, strange sightings and the strange death happened within this small two small towns randomly in Yorkshire in the middle of nowhere. Just why? Over the years, the case of Adamski has invited theories that range from bizarre to the chilling. But one obviously, like, everyone was jumping on the train of like, wow, this was definitely UFO, this was definitely aliens, and like people. I'm not talking about law enforcement. Law enforcement was just like, no, this is strange, but let's not panic, let's not get scared of aliens, and let's not spread rumors about UFOs and aliens. But people kind of, right, like, people took it seriously. People were just like, okay, well, it's kind of weird, and also we had all those sightings, these weird sightings, there's something going on. So there was definitely like a range of bizarre theories out there. But one possibility emerged in 2005 that offers a different kind of explanation. Not a UFO, aliens, extraterrestrials, but a human conflict. So when UFO investigators revisited the case and interviewed Adamski's family, they uncovered a potential motive for abduction. It turns out that Zygmunt was caught in the middle of a family feud. A relative of his was experiencing serious marital troubles, so much so that the man's wife had failed to, she had filed, the wife filed a restraining order against her husband. It's not Zygmunt, right? Like, this is just a relative of Zygmunt's. So to escape the situation, the wife of that relative moved in with Zygmunt and his wife. And that could mean that, maybe there was this kind of sparked the family feud, right? Like, the relative got pissed about the fact that his wife was living with Zygmunt and his wife. And yeah, so members of Adamski's family speculated that the disgruntled relative may have abducted Zygmunt as a retaliation for, like, oh, took away my wife, or, oh, you're helping her file a restraining order against me. So basically, Zygmunt's family said, oh, maybe he abducted him, he held him in a remote barn or, similar location, and he kind of took care of him during this time just to, like, oh, teach him a lesson. And if this is true, it's possible that Zygmunt suffered a heart attack while in captivity. So maybe day 5, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., he suffered that heart attack, and then the relative kind of got him to the other town over at 3:45 p.m. and put him on the pile of coal. But here's where things get a little strange. So some theorize that this relative, desperate to cover his tracks, staged the scene in Todmorden to look like something otherworldly. So he actually messed with the coal pile to not have any tracks, right? Like, oh, he kind of, like, I don't know, like, just kind of set it up so, right, like, oh, just cleaned up his tracks. Okay. So let's consider the details again. I said so many times. Yes, again, maybe this relative actually knew about the fact that Todmorden was kind of a hotspot for UFO sightings in recent months or days, right? And he might have staged the whole situation, the whole scene of Adamski's death to look otherworldly, or like to look like Oh, he was dropped from above because he knew about the UFO sightings in Todmorden, or in that area. So again, then let's consider the details. The burns on Adamski's body were only 2 days old, and the gel-like substance covering them has never been identified. And his clothes were crudely fastened, and his body was placed atop a coal heap with no signs of disturbance around it. He was missing for 5 days, yet his face showed only 1 day's worth of beard growth. And let's not forget the UFO sightings reported by Alan Godfrey, the very officer who investigated the case. So yeah, it's weird, but maybe this was known to that relative. I don't know, like people say kind of, well, there are rumors that, hey, maybe this relative just knew about all of these UFO sightings, and he decided, and he had a beef with Zygmunt, so maybe he held him, he kept him in a shed, he took care of him, kind of, but then decided, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna, well, he died of a heart attack, maybe from abuse or something. Well, no, not abuse, not even, because there weren't signs of struggle. He just burned, maybe from the burn marks, maybe the relative actually burned his neck, and that caused the heart attack, because I think at the time it was like 1980s. I think a lot of underlying conditions just went undetected, right? So even if you had a heart condition in the 1980s, I don't know, like maybe it's possible that, you know, also it's 1980s. Like let's say my grandfather, he avoids going to the doctor for regular checkups. Heck, people nowadays, young people don't go to like annual health checkups or like regular, they don't do health checkups. But yeah, maybe Zygmunt was one of those people, like, oh, he didn't really do regular checkups with a doctor, and he didn't know that he had a heart condition. And maybe, you know, if someone kidnapped him and burned his neck, maybe during this process, the burning, or maybe something else, like he just got a heart attack from all the stress. Haven't been to a doctor in years. Exhibit 1, shy. Shy. Just a health check. Just take care of yourself, okay? Doctors are expensive. I guess so. Yeah, okay. I understand that in some countries, yes, doctors are absolutely expensive. So yeah, that's understandable, but you know, I'm just saying, like, oh, it's possible that Zygmunt just didn't know that he had a heart condition. Okay, but there are several other theories. When discussing the mystery of Zygmunt's death, some sources have floated an unexpected theory: the involvement of the KGB. It's an idea that immediately grabs attention, but let's break this down. So the KGB, known in English as the Committee for State Security, because mind you, this is the Soviet Union's primary intelligence and security agency, and they were definitely active from 1954 until the USSR's collapse in 1991. So it falls right in the middle of, you know, of this time frame, right? Like Zygmunt's case falls on 1980. So it's still, you know, the KGB is very much active. So the KGB gained a notorious reputation for its covert operations, espionage, and elimination of those viewed as threats to Soviet interests. Defectors, traitors, and enemies of the state often found themselves in the crosshairs of this organization. But here's the thing: there's no evidence suggesting Zygmund Adamski had ever drawn the attention of the Soviet Union. Yes, he was Polish. So yeah, like, you know, Poland just got kind of independent, right? Like I think Poland was still communist in 1980. I think we were communist until 1989. But yeah, like Poland, you know, like the last war was definitely involving Soviet Union, and Poland just broke apart from the Soviet Union. So yes, any government, so, you know, like you could say like, oh, maybe that's why, maybe because he defected to the UK, maybe he had some connection, I don't know, like some weird connection, but there wasn't really any clear connection Also, Baxter, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. Was part of a community. Doctor was selling our parts. What? Sona was a communist. No, like, okay, yeah, Poland was used to be, like, until 1989, Poland was not Republic of Poland. It was People's Republic of Poland. So, yeah, well, we were technically we were forced to, right? Like, Poland was forced to be a part of the USSR, like, kind of, I don't know, adjacent annexed states. So it wasn't like really part, I mean it was, but you know, we were kind of forced to, like Poland was forced to be part of the USSR, but then later, obviously, we got independence. So independence. Never going back to that. Anyway, so nice our matcha latte now. Jesus. Okay, so again, Zygmunt had never really drawn the attention of the Soviet Union. Like there was no reason, or any government agency for that matter. Like he was just a miner, not a spy or a political figure, and he did not involve himself in any political like activity. He just lived a quiet, unassuming life. He just lived a quiet life literally in a small town of Tingley in England. So plus Zygmunt had been living in England for over 4 decades. So why would the KGB or any communist agency target him after so many years in the UK? Oh, sorry, like not 4 decades, 2 decades. I guess 2 decades, because he moved to England in 1960. So 2 decades, sorry, 20 years. What am I talking about? 4 decades, 2 decades. I was thinking of like when he was born in 1920s. Okay, so he moved to England 20 years ago. Why would he? Yeah, like he had nothing to do with any political party, with any political organization. He was just living a quiet life as a miner. While the theory is definitely intriguing and taps into like the Cold War era espionage, it doesn't really hold much weight. Still, in a case as mysterious as this one, it's worth considering every single possibility. So no matter how ridiculous it might seem. One of the more unusual theories, so this is the next theory, one of the most he mined, not Bitcoin, he mined coal, and then he was found on a pile of coal. So is it ironic? Maybe. Okay, so one of the more unusual theories about Zygmunt's mysterious death involves a rare and controversial phenomenon: ball lightning. Yes, ball lightning. I'm not saying ball of light or ball of lightning. It's ball lightning. Okay, so unlike the lightning we're familiar with, ball lightning is thought to form as glowing spherical orbs that move unpredictably. So it's an unusual, like it's, you know, it's a very rare phenomenon, but it's not completely impossible. And so yes, the spherical orbs of energy move unpredictably, and sometimes they float parallel to the ground. I fucking hate that word parallel, but there's no other word. I can't really use any other word. It's parallel. So they just float parallel to the ground. Curse me. Or even they can even leap vertically. It's the kind of thing that feels more like a myth than science, but reports of its existence persist, and it's a topic hotly debated in scientific circles. So how does this tie to, you know, into the Adamsky case? Some people suggest that he may have been struck by a ball lightning. The burns on his body and his sudden heart failure could be explained by this, like, a freak occurrence. It's not completely out of it's not completely impossible, especially given how little we actually know about the ball lightning. But here's where things get a little complicated, as if they weren't complicated enough already. But yes, if ball lightning was the culprit, it doesn't really explain all the other details. Like, I highly doubt that ball lightning undressed him and took his shirt off and took his watch and took his wallet. I don't think a lightning would need his wallet for anything. and it definitely wouldn't have shaved him. So, you know, so who removed Zygmund's shirt? Who applied the mysterious ointment on his burns? Because yeah, okay, he got burns, so that would explain, like, oh, the lightning would explain that. But at the same time, like, oh, a lightning wouldn't leave behind this like green goo on his burns. So why? If this theory holds any truth, it raises more questions than it answers. Unfortunately. Wait, I looked away for a few minutes. How did we get to ball lightning? Well, we got to ball lightning. Just you see, you can't look away. That's why you have to pay attention. That's why you have to pay attention in my streams, because you look away and there's just like, wait, what? Wait, what? Now we're like aliens? Did the ball also come? Yeah, like I know. Comb, not comb. You guys are terrible. Maybe explain the burns, not the yeah, like it also doesn't explain the 20-mile gap. So how did he end up in a town 20 miles away from his hometown? That's one. How was he undressed? How did he get like his stuff stolen, right? Like his stuff is gone, and he was shaved, and he was kind of like, oh, taken care of and well fed. Like he definitely did not look like someone who starved for 5 days. And he was yeah, he was gone for 5 days, so that's quite a bit of time. Can't that there's an exam on this? Yes, at the end we have Alberto, you have a nasty mind. That's one. Let's not get back to that. I'm so gonna fail the final exam. Yes, there's a quiz at the end, so you guys can't look away. Okay, so this case, was this an elaborate attempt to create a scene that would deflect suspicion, or do these strange details point to something we can't quite explain? One thing is certain, the case of Zygmund Adamski is definitely a strange one. So UFO, KGB, or an unusual weather phenomenon. Well, what do you guys think? And that's the end. This is the end of this case. There's no other information. So there's that. Also, wait, let me just kind of switch the music, because I think it's, we can switch it. But you guys do you guys know, I mean, you guys probably are familiar with the case of JonBenet Ramsey. This case is being reopened. Also, Joshua, thank you so much for another super. I wasn't taking notes. I'm going to fail the test. Yeah, you guys are gonna fail the test, see? You should pay attention. It wasn't aliens. Well, I don't know. There was like right, like the couple who, like the night before the body was found, they saw like a hovering light over their town. So one theory is that this was an alien ship and they dropped off Zygmund's body. The other theory is that this light was actually the ball lightning. So yeah. Make of it what you will. But yes, so you guys know the case of JonBenet Ramsey, right? So this case is being reinvestigated because obviously it's been what, like how many years has it been? It was 1997, I believe. So it's been like 30 years, nearly 28, I guess. You know, the case has been stayed unsolved for 28 years, and yeah, like it's being re-examined, reopened. The DNA material is being re-examined with the new technology, because I think they found another sample of like unknown male DNA on from like her trousers or from her pajama pants. So yes, they are re-examining it, and yeah, it must was it 94? Oh no, sorry, 94 then. So yeah, like wait, was it 94? Hold up. Oh, 96. Never mind, it was 96. So yeah, well, 20 something years. Yeah, 96. I thought it was like 97, 90, between 94 and 96. I didn't look at it. But yeah, the case is the materials are being, or the evidence is being reinvestigated right now with the new technology, which I'm all for, because as I said in my stream yesterday over on Patreon, like it's great that these cases, like it's important that these cases are like stay open and stay, you know, active, because some of them that are 30, 40, 50 years old, some of them got solved after 50 years. And, you know, it's never too late. It's definitely never too late to solve a cold case. So this one, you know, and this one is one of the like infamous ones. Unfortunately, it's kind of sad that, well, I mean, yes, her parents were obviously at the center of it. They were kind of being accused in the early 2000s, like 1997 to 2000, I believe 8 or 9, they were still kind of listed as suspects or persons of interest, at least. And unfortunately, John Benet's mom, she died in like 2000, I don't know, 2004, 2000, I don't want to lie, but somewhere around that, like 2003 to 2006, I think she died before they actually were removed, like the parents were removed from the list of suspects, and they got an apology, but the mom actually died from ovarian cancer early in the 2000s. So she did not see, you know, she didn't live to actually hear the apology from the prosecutor, because the prosecutor on the case, he was kind of accusing the parents, and then later he, you know, retracted his statement. He was just like, I apologize. So that's really, really sad. Her brother did it. Well, so here's the thing. They found male DNA samples on her, and those samples did not match her father or her brother. So that's not her brother, unless there was someone else with her brother, or because I don't think the brother was involved then. Because I thought that too. I thought like, oh, this is so strange. They just came back, like in the story, they just came back from like a Christmas dinner or something, and then, yeah, and then at night she was found dead. But yeah, you know, we'll see. We'll see. They're gonna re-examine it, and maybe it was just like, oh, at the time the technology wasn't that great, or like their method wasn't great, and they made a mistake. Maybe it's the brother, but I don't know. It didn't seem to match at the time, so we'll see if it's gonna match this time, or if they're gonna find another guy. The crazy part is, I think I'm gonna go over this case. I think I'm gonna revisit this case because I've covered this before. I think I covered it. Have I covered the case? Well, anyway, I think I'm planning to revisit it and kind of talk about what's happening right now. So the weird part of this case is that after, like, there was one suspect that was arrested. It was this random guy, this teacher, that claimed he was arrested in like freaking Thailand for some fucking reason. I don't remember what was like how did it happen, but this teacher was like arrested in Thailand because he claimed that he killed John Benet Ramsey. Like, oh, he was there with her and he was in love with her, and I was just like, you sick bastard. But he did not do anything. That's the thing. He got arrested. He got himself arrested, and he was claiming all those things, and then he was ruled out because he had nothing to do with it, and there was no evidence of his at the scene, unless they find something else and it was actually him. So there's that. But so far it doesn't seem like it was him, and he got released because it's just like, dude, why so weird, so strange. Like this one guy, he was what was his name? Wait, let me see what was his name. Like literally there's a picture of him getting arrested, and wait, arrested, was it like car, like K-R, car, was it car? Oh yeah, John Mark Carr. He was arrested in Bangkok, Thailand in 2006 following a false confession to murdering John Benet. Carr, a 41-year-old school teacher, claimed to have drugged, SA'd, and accidentally killed John Benet. And then it's like, so basically he was nowhere around the scene, and his DNA did not match. So like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? Why? It sounds like he was covering for someone who actually was the murderer. Maybe. I hope they revisit it. I hope they interview. Like, if he's still alive, which I hope he is, because he was just 40, so he should be still alive. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he was covering for someone else. Nightflower, hello. Okay. Oh my god. Some people, honestly. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today. I hope you found the case interesting. I am feeling better after my little hospital visit, hospital escapade, ER stay. But I'm feeling much better. I'm actually not taking any meds anymore. I finished my meds finally, so I'm not feeling queasy all the time, and I can actually stream and work on cases and talk. So that's awesome. Also, wait. Oh, someone's wait. Rena is wait. Yeah. Raid. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much, and welcome, raiders. Thank you. But we're actually ending, you guys. I always get a raid when I'm about to, finish streaming. When I'm done with my case and done with streaming. Joshua, thank you so much. Unrelated notes on have you ever gone to Black Friday sale and wait the whole night? No, I haven't, because that's not a thing here. I guess you wait. First of all, yeah, because it's at night. I guess you don't seem to be outside at night. Absolutely not. You crazy? I would not. No, I would not go out. Like, I'm even like very careful, very like, I'm reconsidering every time I have to go outside at all. Like during the day too. I'm like, what? I have to go outside? Wait, hold up. Let me think about this. Let's think about this. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for the stream, for the raid, not the stream, for the raid. Hey, missed the stream. Hope you're feeling better. Yes, I'm feeling better. Thank you so much. I'm not taking my meds anymore. I have a follow-up appointment on Saturday, and but let me just go back to that, Joshua. Yeah, like, well, unfortunately, Black Friday is not really, well, yeah, like it's a thing for sales. Like, oh, they have some discounts, but it's not. I don't think it's like that big of a like deal in Taiwan or like in Poland. I guess like in the States, it's kind of like a huge deal, right? Like, oh, you get huge deals, huge discounts, and people literally like line up outside of the stores at night and like wait for the opening because there are huge discounts. No, like that's not a thing here. But there are some, right? Like there's I think a lot of websites, a lot of stores do kind of Black Friday deals, but not that crazy. So yeah, never experienced the thrill. Also, I don't want to die. I don't know, like I think I would die in a stampede. I think if I ever like joined a Black Friday sale like that, I think I would just like perish in the stampede. So thanks, no. Thanks, but no thanks. Wow, your aesthetic is so cool. Thank you so much. It's first come, first serve. Oh shit. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't wanna perish in a stampede, thank you. I don't wanna die in a like freaking store. Have you seen the movie Thanksgiving? It's actually a horror movie that starts with people dying in a stampede because they were waiting like a crazy Black Friday sale, and they literally, there's like a gruesome, oh my god, it's horrible. It's like so bloody. It's super exaggerated but in that movie, but yeah, that's how it starts. Like, oh, the big tragedy of Thanksgiving Black Friday night. But yeah. Okay, yeah, these Black Friday videos are crazy. Jesus, I think I've seen some of them. Yeah, no thank you, I'm okay. I like shopping on the internet. No need to shove people with my elbows, and no need to break my elbows because my arms are twigs, so no need to break my arms to kind of shove people off of me. Ghost sauna would be cute. I do have a ghost sauna. Kind of. Wait, do you want to see that? Because I can do a little switcheroo. Haha. Watch out. Okay, little switcheroo. Back to my, oh shit. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I do hope you enjoyed the case. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you guys, I suppose. Wait, no, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow, because I have an appointment. I have a doctor's appointment, actually. Well, my time in the morning on Saturday. So yeah, tomorrow. But I'm gonna see you guys on Patreon on Saturday evening. So Saturday evening, I'm gonna see you on Patreon. So there's gonna be another stream on Patreon, and then I'm gonna see you guys here on Monday. Well, I mean Sunday. I guess Sunday evening, Pacific time, on YouTube. Another case. Anyway, stay safe out there. Thank you so much for today. Stay safe out there. Stay tuna. Always lock your doors and windows. Bear your haxes. Don't go to Black Friday sales. Just shop online. You don't wanna perish in the stampede, and never ever put the fate of the world in my hands. Because if it's conditional, if it's on the condition of me learning Mandarin, then learning how to speak and talking to people, or calling, we are all gonna die. So that's that. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Joshua, thank you so much for the super. I asked for the day off tomorrow, but no pay. No, what? May I interest you instead in a fun fact? 86% of dog owners would break up with their partner if they didn't like their pet. I think I would too. That's it. Okay, you guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!